at sa lahat ng mga ADS. Okay? Today is the first Friday of the month, April 4, 2025. We are getting close to Holy Week. In just 2 days, we will enter the 5th Sunday of Lent. Natapos na natin ang dalawa sa tatlong core practices ng Kwaresma. Una, ang pinakapundasyon nito na siyang panalangin. Ang pagpapalalim ng buhay panalangin. Ang pangalawa ay ang pag-aayuno na binalot natin sa usaping detachment. At ngayong hapon, ang pangatlo, ang pagkawanggawa o almsgiving. Aabangan po natin lahat yan. Last Friday, March 28, episode 31, ay pinamagatang Letting Go for Love. Pagmamahal ang dahilan ng fasting at abstinence. Ngayong hapon, episode 32, ay pinamagatang The Joy of Giving. At dito, meron tayong dalawang panauhin na makakasama natin ngayon. So, sobrang excited na kami na ipakilala sila sa inyo. Pero bago ang lahat, pabatiin muna natin ang aking mga co-hosts.
Wala po ako.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sister Martha Hang. I'm very glad to be here with you again. A shout out to my mama, my families, and all the sisters in Vietnam. And shout out to Chồng Nguyên Ma, Chồng Orin, Chồng Ludi, and all the listeners who are watching and listening our program this afternoon. Thank you po.
Sa Giraray, Sister Nette po, magandang hapon, maray na hapon, maayong hapon sa tanan. Happy birthday, Shawilma, on your 79th birthday. Belated birthday greetings kay Sister Doles at advance happy birthday naman kay Sister Annie. Shout out kay Hana at sa lahat ng mga sumusuporta sa Usapang Bokasyon ACI, labi na sa ako ang Papa. Alam mo ba kung ano ang nakapagbibigay sa iyo ng kaligayahan na di kayang bayaran ng kahit na anong yaman? Naranasan mo na bang mawalan dahil nagbigay ka? O sa halip, ikaw na nagbigay ang higit na nabiyayaan? At kung tutuusin, di ka man talaga nawalan. In this afternoon's episode of Usapang Bokasyon ACI, titled The Joy of Giving, will accompany our guests as they share their experiences of giving and the joy it brings them. Why? We'll find out all of this and more in today's Usapang Bokasyon ACI 32, The Joy of Giving. Samahan niyo po kami.
At ito na nga ang ating mga panauhin sa hapong ito. Welcome po and please introduce yourselves at mag-shoutout na rin po.
Magandang hapon po, sisters. Naririnig naman po ako.
Bakit hindi ka nakikita?
Magandang hapon po sa... Naririnig naman po ako, sister. Good afternoon po. Ako po si Brother Eris Zeus Bukiron from the Servants of Charity. Our community here po in Legazpi is called more popularly called the Sagrada Familia, but we are Servants of Charity po. And I'm glad to be here this afternoon po with you sisters and with our online guests as well. Maybe shout out to Sagrada Familia. Hopefully they are listening, but I think she's sa time na po kasi ng mga residente ngayon.
At yung, ano yung bukas event?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving po sa mga taga-Bakakay po. Ang isa po naming newly ordained priest, si Father Michael Adlaon, SDC, will be celebrating his Thanksgiving Mass sa Bakakay. Hindi ko po alam kung ano po, baka alam niyo po ang pangalan ng parish. Hindi ko po alam. Anyway po, it would be at 9 o'clock sa mga pwede po makapunta. Yan, welcome na welcome din po kayo.
Wow. Brother Eris is not from here. He just came from Naga, no? Straight from here. A few minutes lang
Yes,
pumunta sa community and then punta na kagad dito.
Yes
wow,
po.
Misyonero ah.
Hindi po from Naga, sisters.
Manila.
From Manila. Yeah, that's right. From Manila.
Yes, sisters.
Wala ka pang tulog.
Sa bus po.
Okay. Sige, Sister Lizzie, welcome. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I am Sister Jesie from India. My, but I am in India. I'm from Kerala. I'm a handmaid. I'm happy to be with you all at this moment.
Sister Lizzie, how long had you been here in the Philippines? You were here for how many years?
6 years.
6 years. Marunong mag-Tagalog?
Konti lang.
Okay. No, she was here in the year when we were still juniors, no? When we were juniors as...
I was 3 years in Legazpi. I was 3 years in Manila.
And which year was that? Can you still remember?
What year?
What year?
Sorry?
Anong taon? Anong year ba yon? We were still juniors, so siguro
It
mga...
was 92.
1992.
Legazpi.
Yeah.
Novice.
Yeah.
1992. After my funerals.
Ay, 1992, no. We did not enter yet. 1992. So,
Afterwards, I went to Manila after 3 years in Legazpi.
yes. Okay, welcome, Sister Lizzie.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister and brother. And to begin with, can you please briefly share with us your vocation story? Thank you po.
Sige,
Yes,
you
sister,
want to
maybe.
start? You can start, brother.
Okay, sister.
Okay, I'm a handmaid. I joined when I was after secondary school. But my vocation, if I say, it was even now when I meet my friends, they say, how come you became a sister? So you can imagine how I was. So I was very naughty and I was not really I didn't want to be a sister because in my house there were already 2 sisters, my elder sister and my fourth, we were 9 of us, fourth one also, so we already had 2 sisters in the house. But then my father didn't want me to join actually, and I think if he would have been alive, he may not have been allowed me to be a sister because already 2 were already there. But in my religious, when I started thinking about joining, or before that, maybe when I was 4th standard, in the catechism class, one sister asked, how many of you want to become a sister? So I put up my hand, I got a few of us, but then it had to fade away. And then I enjoyed my life, and as I was growing up, actually I wanted to become an air hostess, and the second choice was to be a nurse, and the third choice was to be a policewoman. So all these was my plans. But as it grew, I just left it to be thinking about joining. And then those days when I was studying, I heard a lot about Mother Teresa. And that time she was becoming very famous. And then I thought of joining in that congregation. And then end of my secondary classes, I talked to my elder sister, and then she told me, I don't think you will be able to manage in that life. So I just left it again. But then it happened that it was not easy to take a decision whether to join or not to join, because life was that much exciting and enjoying life in that age. So, but anyway, God led me, and in my family, it is a very religious family, and in my house also the rosary was strictly followed, and in the school, every day we are supposed to go to the church for mass and all that. And then after even Lenten season in my house, we were asked to pray rosary, kneeling, compulsory it was, kneeling down and stretching the hands like a penance. No? So, and Christmas time also some ejaculations and all that. So there was our preparation for the religiosity was in my house. So, but not too much, but okay. But then the time came, it happened that accidentally I met the Handmaids. Of course, my sister got married near to the opposite to the convent in Nagaraya. And then it just happened to casually meeting them. And then I came to, still I was doubting after meeting them after 2 years only, I came to join them actually. So that it was not an easy thing to meet them, but I still listened to them, gave every recollection, discerning whether this is the real God or this is what the place where God wanted me to be. And then one day it happened. So thank you.
Thank you, sister. Brother?
Yes, sister. Yung family ko po ay nag-observe naman po ng mga basics ng Catholicism. May family sa Catholic family. Every Sunday we would go to Mass. And I would remember even when I was young, I and my younger sister, we would, especially during Mayflower, we would be attending the Mayflower every 3 p.m., 3 to 4 p.m. yun sa parish. Tapos may merienda after. So, yeah, so we would have also family rosary every Saturday afternoon. Alala ko yun. We were that as a family. Tapos, yung family ko din po kasi ay yung parents ko ay member ng lay movement, yung Couples for Christ. So, I think, naka-influence yung mga bagay na to as I was growing up. Fast forward po, I joined Youth for Christ when I was in my college years, and eventually after graduating I moved on to Singers for Christ, and that was really I think the biggest influence in my joining religious life, the seminary. There was one conference kasi parang I was already happy serving. I mean, you know, in charismatic movements, we have it's a support group, so we have regular meetings, sometimes to the point nga na even the whole weekends nandun lang talaga with the group. But there was always this, parang gusto ko pang magbigay pa kay Lord, pero hindi ko alam kung ano yun. Hindi ko masabi din. Pero alam ko lang that I wanted to do something more for Him. Then, there was one conference, I would really remember this, 2012, we had a conference. It was in Lucena, Quezon. And in one of the sessions, the speaker just mentioned that there was an activity. Then the speaker said, if you feel that God is asking you something, what do you think it is? Write it down. That moment, I really felt that maybe He wants me to try priesthood. It was really that great. So I wrote it down. Then, yeah, the rest is history. I met the congregation where I am in now. I attended the search in. It was just there in Tandansora, Quezon City. We returned after the conference. We returned to my home. Actually, dalawa siya, sister, nakakatawa. Dalawa siyang flyers that I received that conference. Hindi ko na sasabihin kung ano yung isa. Tapos, I was on my bed. Sabi ko, ano kaya i-message ko sa dalawang to? Sabi ko, left or right? Eventually, message ko yung right. Yun yung servant. So, nag-reply naman. And I was asked to go for a search-in one weekend. And after the search-in, as any search-in, I think you know the experience. It was really parang overwhelming happiness, di ba, that you wanted to enter already. And I wanted to. But one of the priests there, that time it was the superior was Father Charlton Ferrari. Your friend. He told me not to enter immediately. But I kept on visiting. Yeah. Eventually, 2013, I entered. But after a year, I was advised to leave. Maybe hindi pa ako ready. Yeah. Which I, of course, di ba nga hype ka, excited. Parang biglang nawala. but maybe it was really God's plan. So I re-entered again the same congregation 2017, no? 2018, yeah. Then I professed my first vows 2020. It was Sister Nette who guided our retreat for the first profession. So I think that's why I'm here with that connection.
I'm very happy to see you third year na. God is
Yeah.
good talaga.
And sorry, gusto ko lang i-add to last sister. I think the ministry, it was really is part of my vocation story, why I returned. Because the ministry for persons with disabilities, even when I was already outside, whenever I would meet persons with Down syndrome, kasi yun po yung main mission namin in Quezon City. Here in Legazpi, we have a home for persons with disabilities, men with disabilities, but not intellectual or developmental. But in Quezon City, we have. So, I don't know, but when I was outside, during those period I haven't re-entered yet. Wala, parang parang whenever I meet a person with Down syndrome or any intellectual disability, I would feel that it's as if I was being called back. Yeah, so I would always thank my founder for him calling me back again to the congregation. Now I'm in, sorry, tapos na po, sister. I'm in my third year. Thanks be to God, I'm in my third year of theology. I'm in my fifth year as a religious this time.
Hey. Yes po. Yeah. Obviously, you have received a lot, no? So, but in your growing up years, what do you consider the greatest gift or the gift that really made an impact on your life? And then, how did you feel about it?
Yeah, maybe I'll answer first this time. I'm not the one. I'm not the person who keeps things. So for a tangible thing, I think, sister, I don't keep anything, even a very sentimental rosary. I think for us religious, no, that would be something that we try to treasure. Many persons who are very close to me have given rosaries, but I have always given them away eventually. I think later maybe I will be able to share it why. So I don't really keep anything, but maybe I would consider something valuable is my life. Siguro, syempre growing up, parang hindi ko naman naisipin eventually now that I'm in the seminary, receiving the formation, I'm becoming more aware of that. And aside from that, the gift of profession, I think when I decided to enter the seminary, my only prayer, hindi naman to become a priest, actually sisters, I want to become a religious. That's why when I try to remember my first profession, I think it always reminds me of why of my gratitude to God. Kasi if I become a priest later on, then thanks be to God. But actually, I'm already grateful that God has allowed me to become a religious. Kasi yun lang naman yun yung prayer.
In my growing years, I would say I've seen my parents was very generous, supporting and encouraging people, and very helping-minded people. My parents were. So as I grew, I have seen that they have been helping, and not only with economically, but with the medicines and reconciling with people, and if there are any problems that they would go and help, and listening to people and all that. So as I grew, there was a desire grew up in my mind, I want to become a missionary. As I thought of religious life, I thought of becoming a missionary, but my parents were not very happy to send me out of that then. But the desire kept on growing, and but at the same time, when I was growing up, after becoming a religious, my junior, and there was a gift that grew up was listening to people who are in need of, who are in like counseling and listening to them and all that. So then one of my formator recognized that gift within me, and she sent me for a course on counseling. That was the place that I grew. That was helped me a lot to re-recognize my gift that was within me, and I tell you that it has helped me a lot, and it has helped many other people also whom I have accompanied and was able to help and to encourage them, and still being with the mentally challenged children and their parents. It also helps me to listen to them, to empathize with them, to be compassionate, and that helps me a lot, as well as it was a great help to help others also.
Okay, so what would you consider as the greatest gift you have ever received in your life?
For me, the greatest gift that I have received in my life is to become a handmaid.
Wow. Very
Yeah,
good service.
Because what I am now is because of the handmaid convocation.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, I think, and I said that already, to be being a religious as well.
Thank you, brothers and sisters.
Thank you.
So, from whom did you learn the true values of giving? Was there a specific person who shaped your understandings about giving?
Yeah, I think of three persons. My parents, si Papa tsaka si Mommy. Then another person. Then maybe yung parents ko kasi I really saw in them how they would be giving first the church. They would even if we were financially struggling, my father would really say, I would remember when I was young. My father passed away already. I was 11 when he passed away. But I remember that during one mass, he told me, you need to give to the church. Even if we're financially struggling, he really said that. I remember he pulled out 50 pesos. That was 1990, I don't know, 7. But for me, I think that was a big amount already. As a kid, because I know I could buy a lot of things. Madami na akong mabibili sa 50 pesos. So, sabi, ba't ka binibigay ni Papa yung 50 pesos sa doon? So, parang, hindi ko talaga makalimutan yun. Tapos sinabi niya, wag kang tumigil sa pagbibigay sa simbahan. Sabi niya gano'n. And I eventually I also learned that he donated to many other churches. So 2 weeks ago, I came to have a pilgrimage with our ministries in Quezon City, and we went to St. Peter's. Then yung St. Peter's in Commonwealth. Then they told me na part of the fundraising of Father Jerry Orbos that time was to sell even the blocks.
Yeah.
And I immediately remembered si Papa nag-donate din para doon. So I told him I was really proud that when I visited that church. Tas si Mommy naman, this time even, as I was growing already in my high school and until this time, I would see how she really would support and give people, even if hindi na bumabalik din yung mga binibigay niya. But I would really see in her yung pagbibigay niya. She would even say, as long as we have something to give, we should give. parang sa ating Pilipino, pag may ibibigay, magbigay. Pag wala, o di tumigil. Yun yung laging sinasabi niya. Then yung last person would be Jun Egiko. He already passed away last 2020 also, but not with COVID, another sickness. He supported me together with his family, supported my studies. We had one prayer meeting in his house, actually in his daughter's house kasi their family. Then I was sharing that titigil na ako sa college ko because the family could not support it. Then I went home after the prayer meeting. Then I received a call. Tapos nagtaka ako, ba't kaya tinatawagan ako ng person na to? Tapos I answered the call. Then he told me, we heard your sharing because they were not part of the group. It was only for us youth. But he was there, maybe dun sa dining area, he overheard my sharing. Then he said, I and Tita, his wife, we decided to help you. And I'm really grateful kasi they supported me, the family supported me in my studies until I finish. And I told him I will repay you back. When I was already working, I already had initial money to give him. I already saved up some money. And I was about to give him, he told me, you don't need to give it back. And for me, I mean, to be supported with my school fees for many years and not even asking it in return. I was studying in UST, so it was a big amount really. And I didn't really expect that in the end, parang he would tell me, you don't need to give it back. I always feel grateful, and I don't know, but God bless his soul really and his family.
Napapatanong ako, allow me to have this follow-up question kasi
Yes.
you have your dad, no? Na unconditional din yun. Grabe, radical kung magbigay. And here this guy
Yes.
with his family and all. And then ganun din, sobrang radical. And how would you associate that with the radicality also of giving your entire self to God?
Yes, sister, I think these are really God's instruments of teaching me how to give. Even today, with what I have to share with my brothers in the community or with the community itself or with our ministries with the special children or whoever we have, I think they really have helped me and I'm really grateful for God for them.
Hindi ka man nakabayad.
Yes,
Yung ganun, ito na yun.
Yeah.
I mean, yung radicality ng yes mo na talagang,
I think yes.
and then choosing pa a congregation na with special people, special children na they cannot repay back, but if you notice, yung sabi mo, they're also giving you a lot, no, with their smile, with their love, with their hug, ganyan. So talaga admire you, brother.
Salamat
God
po.
bless
Thank
you.
you.
Talaga
Thank you,
po.
Okay, Sister Lizzie.
I have learned the value of giving is from my parents, as I said earlier, and then from the congregation of Handmaids, as well as the pioneer sisters who had been to this house where I spent most of the time. That even they were foreigners, they did not have language, the culture was different, and yet they gave completely themselves to the special children that we have. And the way of giving was very touching in a sense, but they would dedicate themselves, the commitment that they had, the giving of themselves was to the poor and the marginalized and all special children, whomever they met, with a beautiful smile or with the small little languages and all that. And that increased my desire to give more and more. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So time check is now 1:35.
An oras hatod sa Indukang Optin Lutein Capsule. Alagaan ang paningin sa tulong ng Optin. Kitang-kita ang kalusugan ng mata.
Plemex. Pag may ubo o hika, Plemex agad. Basta lagundi,
Plemex Artisan Joint Supplement. Bumabagal ang galaw dahil sa joint pain at arthritis. Mag-Artisan.
Plemex for kids. Mommies, agapan agad ang ubo at plemang nakabara. Pambatang lagundi. Plemex!
Sa Uno Plus, kalidad na maaasahan mo. Serbisyong swak sa imo. Liver Aid Silimarine Capsule. Ang good drinks at good food, perfect combo. Isama pa ang Liver Aid. It's liver lover, boys!
Okay, welcome back sa ating programang Usapang Bokasyon ACI. Ipagpapatuloy natin ang ating talakayan tungkol sa episode 32, The Joy of Giving.
Yeah. Now we're gonna ask naman po about your foundress, Santa Rafaela, and the Saint Cornelian, for in case of Brother Eri. So, what does giving mean to them, and how has their example influenced your life, your vocation?
Okay, would you like to start?
Yeah, started. I think one thing is very clear. My founder is St. Louis Guanela. And one thing is very clear for Guanela. The giving should be the bread and the Lord. It's one of our mottos, to give bread and the Lord. It's always a direct object of Guanela's giving. And for us, the followers of Him, is the poor. The poor is the object of our giving, and the direct object is always God and whatever they need. I think that is what is clear for all of our even ministries and missions. That's why here in Sagrada Familia, for those who are familiar po with Sagrada Familia, we do not just invite you to give yung food for them, but also if you can spend time, because through giving time for them, the persons with disabilities also experience God's love through you, through the time that you spend them.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, our founder's name is Santa Rafaela Mary. And what, for me, it's giving from her, what I have learned is that give wholeheartedly. And the way she used to say, have a big heart, embrace everyone. So that has impressed me, and it has been an inspiration for me to embrace everyone who are in need, the rich and the poor, marginalized alike, wherever I was sent and whomever I meet, who without looking at who they are, but then to give myself completely, I mean, for their needs, for their, sometimes maybe casually we may be meeting, but the more you talk, they open up. That has experienced in Philippines so much, that they open up so much that I was surprised to hear all her stories within a few minutes time. So, a listening heart and embracing everyone, whoever comes, without keeping a limit. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Follow-up question: what are the blessings and challenges with giving? Blessing and challenges.
I think, sister, maybe one would be the simultaneous, because when you give, you also empty yourself. I think that challenge of that blessing first of giving, of course, I feel happy, or a person would experience joy in his giving or her giving, but at the same time, you realize that you would be giving away something. So, mawawalan ka. I think yung challenge doon is that, like for us, sometimes religious, like for me, in my experience, sometimes when we're, for example, in the ministry that I have, we would be planning for something, and we would be depleting the funds that we have. Nauubos na. So, parang yung ibang members, they would always say, paano na po iba natin mga projects and programs? But And like last time we had that discussion in our group, and I just told them, hindi naman magpapabaya ang Diyos sa atin. Our founder would always also say, it is God who does. We just need to rely on providence, as St. Luis Gonella would always encourage his followers to depend and rely on providence. Kasi mawawalan nga tayo ng funds that we have right now, but God will never stop from providing and supporting us.
Was there a time when your congregation was called Sons of Divine Providence? Parang narinig ko yun dati. O hindi naman?
Hindi po, sister. I think that's a different one. But I think our founders are contemporaries. Yeah. What's his name? I forget. Later, maybe, when I remember. Yeah, but they are contemporaries. During on Guanella's deathbed, he came. I forget his name.
So they're really friends?
They're friends, sister. Yeah. They're friends.
Thank you, Brother Jesie.
For me, the challenges and the blessings giving is numerous blessings and challenges are there, but giving gives fulfillment. It gives fulfillment, satisfaction, joy, gratitude, and a relief for those who are in need. And the challenges sometimes what I have experienced is that it can lead to neglect oneself on physical, emotional and mental well-being. At times it can also lead to overcommitment with the expectation, can lead to disappointment and attachment, because when we do the counseling, at times it becomes too demanding. It can also become too much attached with people. You become involved in their personal life, their family life, and become part of their life. So that becomes sometimes sometimes it is also difficult to say no, even though you may have too many things, but seeing the need, you find difficult to say no. So you become overburdened, your health become sometimes affected, and so sometimes we become attached with people, but ultimately it leads to greater personal growth. I have grown a lot, I can say, and it's a lot of fulfillment is there and positive impact. And when we see people living a better life, they have overcome from the problems or the difficulties, and when they come and say, I must have forgotten years back, maybe. I must have forgotten, when they come and they remind, oh, sister, you have to help me in that situation. Oh, then you feel great. I mean, I have felt great though. But at the same time, I thank God for it. It's not me who have done it, but God has done through me. I have become only a channel.
Sister Jesie also is very happy, is given the grace, the gift of giving. So Sister Jesie, would you like to answer the question? What are the blessings and challenges? At least one for each.
Okay. So for me, really, the joy of giving. Basta seeing the person happy, parang the happiness within me is more double than the one who receive. Parang really, is, sabi nga ni Sir Lisa, is the fulfillment. That joy, and is a different kind of joy. So in giving, but also the challenges is sometimes there are people who are also taking advantage. The challenge is how to balance. Kasi sometimes when you are so generous, they take advantage also. So some are not sincere. Also in there are, sabi nga, modus operandi. We have experienced a lot of that na nanloko, something. But I always remember, better na naloko. Pero what is important is the motivation that you share, you give.
And the challenge also of letting the people entrusted to our care to really focus on the real giver, who is Jesus, something like that really to let them realize that we are just instruments, and it is the Lord, and it comes from the Lord. All blessings come from God.
Okay.
So, what is the significance of almsgiving, especially during the seasons of Lent? And how do you view it in everyday life?
For me, almsgiving is one of the 3 pillars of Lent in the Christian faith, alongside prayer and fasting, as we believe. The significance of almsgiving during Lent can be understood in some ways that I would say it could be an imitation of Christ, and in his self-giving love and compassionate for the poor and the marginalized. It also a spiritual purification. By giving, we learn to detach from some material possessions, some part of become a generous person, and grow in a spiritual way and to be compassionate hearted. Also, in daily life, almsgiving can be practiced in some ways, that like donating some materials or money to the marginalized or the poor people. Also, there could be a voluntary service could be given to who are some organizations like old age home or orphanage or physically or mentally challenged institutions. And also sometimes at this era, that there's a need of listening. People are waiting to share and to open up their difficulties, the youngsters especially. And so we could give a listening ear so that there's a space for them. They can experience that, they can feel that there is someone whom they can go to, and there's a place that they can share their struggles and difficulties. And also, we could also think of maybe we see some poor people who do not have food or one meal or some material things. So we could offer that. Then also we could, there are also weaker children. So we can also offer ourselves to helping hand to help them in their studies and all that. That's it.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Brother.
Yeah, just to add with what Sister has already mentioned, I think we always think of almsgiving as something we could offer the other. Do I give because I see the person as needing, or because I want to give? Do I need because there's surplus, or we have allotted extra budget or funds in our community, or from my personal allowance? Do we have a budget for it? Or is it because simply I just want to give? I think as Christians, maybe the invitation is to ask in ourselves, are we maturing in our giving? Maybe Lent is that time to ask ourselves of that. And sometimes people also wait for Lent or other times like Christmas season or Advent season to be generous. Like being in the seminary, I've seen and handled different persons, and I've seen how people who have become generous during specific times and who are really generous in whatever season of the year is. Maybe I would like to point out, maybe one of my interests in my theological studies is scripture. In that verse po in Matthew 6, when we try to, when it says that whenever you give alms, do not blow. Yung word that give alms word is actually a word in Greek which means not just to give alms, but acts of charity, acts of mercy, or loving kindness. It's closely related to the word hesed or eleison or mercy. That's why when we give alms, I think it's really giving mercy. So as simple as being patient with a sister, an elderly sister, or being forgiving this time, I think somehow we need to recalibrate how we understand almsgiving. And I think that would be helpful even outside Lent if we try to understand almsgiving in a different way. Yes.
So I think especially this time wherein people are hunger for somebody to be listened.
Yes, like that.
Isa yan siguro na pangangailangan ng
Yes.
karamihan. Kulang yung nakikinig.
That's true, sister.
Yan pwedeng gawin araw-araw. Hindi na kailangan hintayin yung Lent.
Yes.
At election.
At election.
Shout out kay Chris Diaz. Chris, offer lang lahat kay Lord.
Pwede po mag-shoutout din.
Pwede,
Yes.
pwede. Syempre.
Shoutout kay Father Jem Penetrante.
Yeah.
Jem, nandito ako ngayon. Si Jem po ay kasabayan ko sa Youth for Christ.
Oo nga, sabi nga.
Hindi po, I'm
But
older
small.
than him, but we were together in the same
Yeah.
group.
Sabi
Yeah.
nga sa amin, isa sa mga leader niyo.
Yeah. Nag-guest din namin siya dito.
Okay.
Kasabay niya si Father Charles.
Yes.
Silang dalawa.
Kailan yun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Na-share mo na yung favorite verse mo. Would you like to say something, another Bible verse or a quote from your, kanina, quote from Saint Gonela yon. So
Yeah.
ngayon naman Bible verse, and Sister Jesie also.
I've already mentioned my favorite verse really is that without cost you have received, without cost you are to give. And I think I really try my best to live out that verse. Maybe hindi po from Gonela, there are many, but I would choose from a more contemporary person, from Father Sok Villegas. I came across this statement from his back in 2015, and I really sorry sa mga viewers, when they send me the questionnaire about this question, I really went through my posts in social media back in 2015 just to be reminded of this verse. This verse from this statement from this bishop, from Father Sok. He said, "Always give alms to the poor who come to you. Do not be afraid to be fooled, nor turn them away empty. Do not be afraid to pamper the beggars. They have no one to help them. If you have to make a mistake in being too charitable, in being too kind." Ako po, personally, this statement, when I first heard it back in 2015, has really changed me. That's why, even if my confreres would tell me, why do you give to to those knocking on the door because I'm a driver of the community, I think that's what Jesus also wants us, maybe to have a mistake in giving especially to the poor. Yeah. Thank you po.
You have the right guest talaga for the right episode. Grabe. Yeah. Sister Jesie.
For me, the Bible quotation that I feel is that God loves the cheerful giver. And the founders, I feel, is be large-hearted. So if we have a large heart, we'll be ready to give as much as we can.
Okay. So So, ang bilis ng oras. But before we finally say goodbye, what is your message to our viewers, especially those being called to radically give their whole life to the Lord as a priest or as a religious sisters? Your message for them, for our viewers. Okay, sige, say brother.
I would go first, sister.
Okay.
For those, anyone listening right now po, or who have been maybe yung figuring it out kung ano ba talagang gusto ni Lord para sa'yo, or nag-iisip-isip kung if God is calling you for whatever vocation, especially for seminary or religious formation. I think the only message that I have is don't be afraid to give. Don't be afraid to try to give in. Yun. Don't be afraid to try if God is calling you. Just try it. Hindi naman masasayang. You will learn a lot, as Sister Lizzie shared also. She's learned a lot from the congregation, and I think the other sisters here also agree with that. And I too have learned a lot. You will, I don't know, but don't be afraid. Huwag ka matakot. Just try it, and you will see how God will be there.
Yeah. Sir Lizzie.
I also would like to tell the people who are thinking about religious life or priesthood, do not be afraid. Because it is, of course, at this moment it is a challenge, great challenge, but it's a very interesting and beautiful life. That you have to live it and experience it. Also, it requires a sense of purpose and commitment. It is a calling, not a career. It is a journey of continuous conversion to prepare ourselves to give more and more to the people who come to each one of us. And it is also a call to surrender ourselves completely into all the situations. It's a lot of in and giving and receiving. It's not only we give, but it's also a lot of giving and receiving. It's also a growth that brings into our lives and to others' lives that we can give. Like Jesus, He has given Himself completely to us, unconditionally. He has given to us, and we are giving a little by giving ourselves to a religious life, whether priest or a sister. And the last thing I would say is that we listen to the whisper of your heart and to the Holy Spirit, and discern. So all the best for those who are going to do.
Okay, so it's true what they have shared na when we follow our heart and we respond to the call of Jesus, hindi tayo magkakamali. Kasi ang tumatawag sa atin ay will give us the best. Always the best. Kasi gusto niya tayong maging masaya. Okay? So, okay. So, salamat sa lahat na sharing natin ngayon. It has been enriching. Salamat sa inyo again. Please message us in the comment section of DZGB News Online, Usapang Bokasyon ACI, or at RFB Messenger, or at ACI Vocation Fail, or you may subscribe also to our YouTube channel, ACI Vocation, or better still visit us at Santa Rafaela Maria Students Home in Sagpon, Daraga, Albay. Muli po kaming nagpapasalamat sa inyo lahat na sumusubaybay sa programang Usapang Bokasyon ACI bawat Biyernes ng hapon 1:00 hanggang 2:00 sa radio station ng DZGB News Online. Salamat sa ating mga bisita ngayong hapon, Sister Lizzie Belucedad at ACI, at Brother Eris Seyus Bukiron, Servant of Charity, at ang inyong mga lingkod, Sister Jesie, Sister Nette, and Sister Marta. Salamat po at hanggang sa muli. See you next Friday.
Salamat po din.
Salamat, Sister Jesie.
After all, your chorus means Thanksgiving. When surplus becomes an overflow of a grace.